Learn Excel from Mr. Excel Podcast, episode 2268, VBA Macro to trim all cells in selection. All right, so I was doing a Power Excel seminar, and Kristin said, hey, we were talking about VLOOKUP, and one of the common things that causes VLOOKUP to not work is if your data has trailing spaces. All right, so right here, instead of just Kiwi, I have Kiwi space, and that's causing things to not work. And I usually suggest coming out here and using the trim function, equal trim of that whole thing, or even using the trim function inside. But Kristin just says she's downloading data and she has multiple columns that all need to be trimmed every single time. And is there some easy way to do this? I said, well, what we could do is we could knock out a quick little macro, a VBA macro. You know, hey, I always tell people I use Power Query 90% of the time instead of macros, but every once in a while a macro is really, really good. All right, so Alt F11, and we have this little macro right here, sub trim selection, and I dim cell as a range for each cell in selection. Cell.Value equals the trim of the cell.Value, but I don't want to screw up any formulas, right? In case someone spaced their formulas out, I've seen people do that. So if not cell.HasFormula, then do that whole thing. So this trim selection here, let's come back and we'll customize the quick access toolbar, go to macros, and find personal XLS trim selection. Right there, click add, I've already added it, and then modify to come up with a nice little icon there and nice words of trim selection. All right, so now let's check this out. Here's how it works. We choose all the cells that we want to trim, and you know the trim gets rid of, if you have multiple spaces between two words, trim will get rid of those. All right, so I'm going to just trim the selection here, that one. And all of our VLOOKUPs start to work. Wrong format, but other than that, although really interesting, the VBA version of trim doesn't get rid of the extra spaces inside. It got rid of the leading spaces and the trailing spaces, but not the spaces inside. And very nice, it didn't touch our formulas. So that little VBA there for Kristin. I want to thank you for stopping by. We'll see you next time for another netcast from Mr. Excel.